Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the most pivotal battles in history, and I'm your host, General Biography. Today, we're going to explore one of the most complex and intriguing campaigns of World War II, the Battle of Anzio. This Italian theater operation, which took place from January 22, 1944 to June 5, 1944, was a crucial, yet often misunderstood chapter in the Allied push against Nazi Germany. The story of Anzio begins in the aftermath of the Allied invasion of Italy in September 1943. Following the successful landing at Salerno, known as Operation Avalanche, Allied forces under the command of General Dwight D. Eisenhower faced a daunting task, breaking through the German defenses and pushing northwards towards Rome. The Italian campaign had been marked by fierce fighting, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. As the Allies advanced, they encountered increasingly formidable German defensive lines, including the Volturno Line and the Barber Line. In October 1943, the Allied High Command began to consider alternative strategies to break the stalemate. One option was to launch an amphibious assault behind enemy lines, with the goal of cutting off German forces and creating a decisive breakthrough. The town of Anzio, located about 30 miles south of Rome, was identified as a potential landing site due to its proximity to the Italian capital and the strategic port of Civitavecchia. The Allied planners, including General Eisenhower, General Mark Clark, and Admiral John Cunningham, worked tirelessly to assemble the necessary forces and resources for the operation. The invasion would involve a combined force of American and British troops, totaling over 40,000 men, under the command of Major General John P. Lucas. The challenges were significant. The Allies had to navigate treacherous seas, avoid German minefields, and overcome the uncertainty of landing on a hostile shore. As the planning phase progressed, the Allies gathered intelligence on German troop dispositions and defensive positions around Anzio. They knew that the Germans had fortified the surrounding hills and coastline, and that the town itself was heavily defended. Despite these challenges, the Allied High Command remained confident that a successful landing at Anzio could be achieved, and that it would have a significant impact on the outcome of the Italian campaign. In the months leading up to the invasion, the Allies conducted extensive rehearsals and training exercises, honing their skills and perfecting their tactics. The troops were briefed on the operation's objectives, including the capture of key terrain features, such as the Alban Hills and the town of Aprilia. They were also warned about the potential risks and challenges they would face, including German counterattacks and the harsh Italian winter weather. As we set the stage for the Battle of Anzio, it's essential to appreciate the intricate web of strategic considerations, logistical hurdles, and tactical decisions that defined this operation. The events that unfolded in the early days of January 1944 would have far-reaching consequences, testing the mettle of both Allied and Axis forces. The fate of Italy and the course of World War II hung in the balance. The story of Anzio is one of courage, resilience, and strategic vision, set against the backdrop of one of history's most devastating conflicts. As the Allied forces landed on the beaches of Anzio on January 22, 1944, they were met with surprisingly light resistance. The initial landing, code-named Operation Shingle, involved a combined force of American and British troops totaling over 40,000 men under the command of Major General John P. Lucas. The Allies quickly established a solid beachhead, and by the end of the first day, they had secured key terrain features, including the town of Anzio and the surrounding countryside. However, as the days passed, the Germans began to regroup and launch counterattacks against the Allied positions. The fighting was intense, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The Allies faced significant challenges, including the need to expand their beachhead, secure key roads and highways, and overcome the formidable German defenses in the surrounding hills. One of the most critical moments of the battle came on January 30, 1944, when the Germans launched a massive counterattack against the Allied positions. The attack, led by the German 14th Army, was designed to push the Allies back into the sea and regain control of the Anzio beachhead. However, the Allies held firm, and after several days of intense fighting, they managed to repel the German attack. The turning point of the battle came in late February 1944, when the Allies launched a series of operations designed to break out of the Anzio beachhead and push northwards towards Rome. The operations, codenamed Operation Fishfang and Operation Strangle, involved the combined force of American and British troops, supported by air power and naval gunfire. The fighting was fierce, but ultimately, the Allies managed to secure key terrain features, including the town of Cisterna and the surrounding countryside. As the battle raged on, the Allies faced significant challenges, including the need to overcome the formidable German defenses in the Alban Hills and the town of Aprilia. However, they persevered, using their superior air power and artillery to wear down the German defenses. By late May 1944, the Allies had secured a solid foothold in the Anzio area and were poised to push northwards towards Rome. The capture of Rome on June 5, 1944, marked a major turning point in the Italian campaign. The fall of the city was a significant blow to the Germans, and it paved the way for the Allied advance into northern Italy. The Battle of Anzio, which had begun as a small-scale amphibious assault, had evolved into a major campaign involving hundreds of thousands of troops and resulting in significant losses on both sides. This pivotal campaign marked a major turning point in the Italian theater, demonstrating the strategic vision and resilience of the Allied forces. The battle also highlighted the importance of combined arms operations, as air power, naval gunfire, and infantry worked together to achieve a common objective. As the Allies secured Rome on June 5, 1944, they faced significant challenges in consolidating their gains and pushing northwards into Germany. The Italian countryside was still heavily contested, with German forces entrenched in the Apennine Mountains and along the Gothic Line. The Allies would need to navigate treacherous terrain, overcome formidable defenses, and contend with the harsh Italian winter. In the months following the Battle of Anzio, the Allies focused on securing the Italian countryside and pushing northwards into Germany. The U.S. Fifth Army, led by General Mark Clark, played a key role in this effort, advancing up the western coast of Italy and capturing key cities such as Livorno and Pisa. Meanwhile, the British Eighth Army, led by General Oliver Leese, pushed northwards through the eastern coast of Italy, capturing cities such as Rimini and Forli. As the Allies advanced, they encountered fierce resistance from German forces, who were determined to hold on to their positions in Italy. The Germans launched a series of counterattacks, including the Battle of Garfagnana, which took place in December 1944. However, the Allies held firm, using their superior air power and artillery to wear down the German defenses. The decline of the Battle of Anzio also had significant implications for the outcome of World War II. The capture of Rome and the subsequent advance into northern Italy marked a major turning point in the war, as it paved the way for the Allied invasion of southern France, known as Operation Dragoon. This operation, which took place on August 15, 1944, saw Allied forces land on the beaches of Provence, marking a significant milestone in the liberation of Western Europe. The legacy of the Battle of Anzio can be seen in the bravery and sacrifice of the soldiers who fought there. The battle was one of the bloodiest of the Italian campaign, with over 30,000 Allied casualties and an estimated 25,000 German casualties. However, it also marked a significant turning point in the war, as it demonstrated the strategic vision and resilience of the Allied forces. Today, the Battle of Anzio is remembered as one of the most complex and intriguing campaigns of World War II. The battlefields and cemeteries around Anzio serve as a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made by soldiers on both sides, while the town itself has become a symbol of liberation and freedom. As we reflect on the significance of this campaign, we are reminded of the enduring power of courage, resilience, and strategic vision in the face of adversity. In conclusion, the decline and aftermath of the Battle of Anzio marked a significant turning point in the Italian campaign and had far-reaching implications for the outcome of World War II. The bravery and sacrifice of the soldiers who fought there will never be forgotten, and their legacy continues to inspire us today. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of the most complex and intriguing campaigns of World War II. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.